What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As usual, we've got the usual suspect. I'm going to get this whole fucking point thing right one of these days, guys.
I'm around here somewhere. Here we go.
There he is. There he is. We got Jive Turkey Nano
I'm
up
moving.
in this again.
I'm grooving. How we doing? Great to see
Let's
you all.
go.
And how's everyone doing today? Happy Friday Junior, right? We've been switching
Friday
up a little
Junior,
bit.
Baby. Let's go.
That much closer to this weekend.
Put those guns away. Do you have a permit to carry those bad boys?
I was just going to say, let me go get my permits for these guns, baby. Come on. Free
Somebody
admission.
called the vet. Those puppies are sick. So we are here today to jump into UFC 287. It is going to be, as the kids say, one hell of a fight card. It is a huge pay-per-view. It is a quadrilogy of sorts. We've got Israel Adesanya going up against his arch nemesis. If this was an anime, this would genuinely be the bad guy of the anime.
Oh, man, it's a movie script, right? They're going to make movies about this one day. I'm going to pay to see it.
Alex
They
Pereira.
should make an anime about it, a little comic series.
I would love it. Can we please get a Netflix adaptation of the Israel Adesanya story, the Israel Adesanya story?
Yes.
And before we jump into that, guys, we actually have a slew of fights that we're going to go over today because, again, it is a stacked fight card. So let me go ahead and set some background music in here. There we go.
Set the ambiance.
Set the ambiance, you know what I'm saying? So now that we have that set, now I'm going to go ahead and go to the first fight that we're going to talk about. Mr. Gerard Meerschaert going up against Joe Pyfer, or the quote that everybody knows him by, "Be Joe Pyfer." Do you want to go ahead and jump into the start of this one?
I'll kickstart us off here. Why not? Why not lead it off here? We'll hit some singles. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, we got Gerald Meerschaert, GM3, going up against Joe or Joseph Body Bags Pyfer. That is a great name, needless to say.
Put him in a body bag.
Put him in a body bag, baby. Put him in a coffin. Leading us off, man. And, we have that classic narrative. We have the old bull facing the young calf, right? We've seen this before. GM3, man, he's been a staple here in the 185 division for quite some time now. This guy's been around the block, okay? He's fought some of the who's. Unfortunately, he's been, on the other side of some losses. Some of those guys, some of the who's, the Kamzat, to name one of them. But he's a dog, right? He's been right outside of that top 15. Most of his career, maybe been in and out as well. But the man has over 50 fights. This is his 51st fight professionally. The dude's savage. Love him in the octagon. Love him out of the octagon as well. He's a grizzled and savvy veteran here, I believe. And again, looking at a 4-1 record since coming off his most recent win against Bruno Silva, another dog in the division. He has some good momentum, right? I was actually listening to his appearance on the John Anik and Kenny Florian podcast. Shout out them. But he's actually moving down to Florida from his home state, Wisconsin, to really focus in on this window that he has in his pro fighting career. Obviously, very tenured, always kind of tickling in that top 15 in and out of contention, but really looking to make that final push. He's focused as all hell. And he's going to need all hands on deck, man. He's going up against a savage, a young 26-year-old in Joe Body Bags Pyfer, like I said. Currently on a 3-5 win streak, looking to make a name for himself. One thing that stood out for me in terms of Joe and his style is the man's boxing is pretty clean. He's got some heavy hands. Looks to be strong, too, just physically speaking. Obviously, being the younger, more springy guy, you're going to see probably more movement from him, probably going to be a little bit quicker on his feet, and probably going to be looking to put away GM3 early. I think that's his best path to victory in this fight. He is coming off a most recent TKO win back in September, so he certainly has some momentum on his side as well. Kind of a side note, Dana White bought him a house a while back. I guess he was on the verge of being homeless at one point when he was fighting the Dana White Contender Series. Thought that was really interesting. Love a good narrative. Love hearing that, he's getting taken care of and basically fighting for his life as well. But all of that aside, I do think stylistically, GM3 he's a guy. I think he has more ways to put Joe away in terms of being able to contend with him on the feet, stay at distance, use the leg kicks, use the grappling that he has, maybe even take him down. And that's where I really think the advantage is for GM3. So with that being said, I'm curious to see the odds. I think they're close, but give me GM3 here. I think it might be an underdog, taking the first dog here of the night to put, not put Joe in a body bags. It's a little too much. I'm not going to say that, but maybe get the win over this young 26-year-old who still has plenty of real estate in front of him. Still has a long career ahead of him. I think he'll be just fine, but give me GM3, baby. What do you think, Olin?
All right, hold up. Did you read my notes before I go solo here? Did you read my notes?
Briefly. I did glance.
Okay, all right. I was about to say, did I influence you at all? Because I did not think that you were going to take GM3 in this one, I'll be honest.
It's tough, man. I like him. I mean, I think a part of me, it's, thinking with my heart a little bit, I have to acknowledge, though, this guy Joe's scary. He puts people in body bags. Like, he looks strong.
Joe's a scary dude.
He's a
very scary dude.
But I just think all around, man, he's got it. What do you think?
I agree with what you said, man, for sure. If there's anything that I can guarantee for fact, it's what you said. And that is, he's a guy.
He is a guy.
GM3
Confirmed.
is a guy. 100% GM3 is a guy. Now, what I jotted down in my notes are these things. Joe is 9 years younger. He's 1 inch taller, and he has a 2.5 inch reach disadvantage. This is the biggest test for Joe Pyfer thus far in his MMA career. Like you said, he was on the verge of being homeless previously. He was on Dana White's Contender Series not once, but twice. He lost his first fight against a young man whose name was Dustin Stoltzfus. You might remember that name because that young man ended up actually getting his ticket, punching his ticket to the UFC. And what did he end up doing once he got to the UFC, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Well, he beat one of my old MMA coaches back at AKA, Dwight Grant. Love that guy to death, but he ended up getting beaten unanimous decision by the guy. But you know who he couldn't get past? A man named GM3, Gerald Meerschaert. And that's the most recent loss to Joe Pyfer. Now, I know I would be the first person in the world to tell you that MMA math does not work, but going off MMA math and going off my gut intuition, he's a guy. All right? And not only is he a guy, he's the guy. I think GM3, I've seen people bet against him before. I know my homie Drew bet against him whenever we were literally walking into UFC San Diego last year. And the man put on a freaking performance. Okay, he beat the brakes off of Bruno Silva. He got him in a guillotine. And when it comes to Dustin Stoltzfus, he ended up beating him via submission. So, what do I think is going to happen here? I'm going to take the man that's 9 years older. I'm going to take the man that's got the 2.5 reach advantage. I'm going to take GM3 via submission. I think he gets it done within the first 2 rounds. I don't see it going out of 2 rounds. That's my take on that fight.
I don't disagree with it. Yeah. That's maybe I was a little bit influenced by you, but no, I do think that like we said, all around Meerschaert's game's gonna, I think, show in terms of being able to take it anywhere he needs to. If they need to go deep waters, if he needs to go 3 rounds, the longer it goes, the more I think GM3 is gonna walk away with it.
Absolutely. If it gets past 3 minutes, GM3 takes this fight, I think.
And again, at 35 years old, he needs to, man. This is his last push. We have seen some older veterans, make a run, but this is it, man. It's for all the marbles. Let's see it happen. See him make it happen.
I wish him well. I really do like him as a fighter and as a person. He seems like a great guy. So let's go great GM3. Guy. War GM3, baby. That being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into the next fight. I'll go ahead and lead the bus on this one.
Yes.
This is a pretty darn solid fight. We got Chris the Action Man Curtis coming in against Kelvin Gastelum, or as me and Drew like to call him, Kelvin the Gas Tank Gastelum. The Action Man is 4 years older. He has a 4 inches on Kevin, 4 inches of reach on Kelvin. And I'll be completely honest, this could end up being Kelvin Gastelum's retirement fight. He's lost 5 of his last 6, and I think this might end up making it 6 of his last 7. I think both men are extremely fun fighters to watch. I think both men are towards the later end of their careers, and I think if either one of them really has a run left in them, it's going to be Chris Action Man Curtis, who's newer to the UFC. Kelvin Gastelum has shown to be very up and down, more so down in recent years, whereas again, the Action Man has shown consistency in his wins, even though it's been up and down. he's been fighting a killer's row and a who's who of names. So I just think no matter where this fight goes, it's Chris Curtis's fight to lose. What do you think, Nano?
I love that analysis, brother. I appreciate it. And yeah, man, I agree. Honestly, I think I'm kind of surprised this fight isn't on the main card. I think, maybe they wanted to stack up that prelim or make this the main fight of the prelims to kind of get us ready for, the remainder of the card here. Maybe that's also just a testament to how stacked this card's going to be Saturday night. So make sure y'all tune in. But I think this will be a fun 15 minutes, y'all. I think this will be. We have two warriors going in there. Both are seeing if they have what it takes to go on another title or go on a title run. And for Kelvin, another title run. Something that does stand out to me is, Kelvin is only 31 years old. Still, that's young, in my opinion, for how long he's been around, how long I feel like I've seen him, since the Ultimate Fighter series and coming out now. But unfortunately, and then obviously having that awesome fight with Israel Adesanya back in 2019. But since then, and this was in April of 2019, so it was literally 4 years ago. Since then, 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Plus, on top of that, you're adding another 20 months since his last bout. Really concerned with my boy KG, man. I love him as a fighter. Kelvin Gastelum. Can never rule him out. Dude's durable as hell. Great boxer. Has the wrestling pedigree. But, man, I just simply don't see a lot of ways where he can get through this guy, Chris Curtis, man. He's built like a little ball of power. Looks like he's literally chiseled, made of granite rock. He's just... man, muscular. He's like you said, he's durable. Like you said, he's training with a lot of really talented people in that camp. Sean Strickland, Martin Vittori, just to name a couple. And he's, even though he's 35 years old and he kind of got a lot of shine outside of the UFC and it's now taking that momentum currently, going into his 40th fight. I mean, the man's not losing any steam. You look at his last bout, especially after coming off of a loss from Hermanson. Since then, he's been looking really sharp, looks motivated, looks hungry. And I believe, man, I think he's going to use that box and he's going to use his hands. He's going to get dirty with Kelvin. Kelvin's going to respond. He's going to want to get dirty with him, two can tango, but I don't think that's going to fare well for our boy KG, man. And again, he's still young. Still a legend in my book, I guess, in terms of just one of my favorite fighters from this generation or the last generation. But looks like Chris Curtis, man, is a force to be reckoned with. I don't think I could bet against him. So give me CC over KG. Been using acronyms today. I'm trying it out.
We're trying to do things, guys. Acronyms.
We're trying to do things, man.
Trying to do things.
There's a lot of names. Sometimes easier.
So speaking of names, to make it easy, I'm trying to keep up and keep the ticker going at the bottom with the names of the fighters that we're talking about. That way, if you guys want to, feel free to go ahead and chime in the chat. Would love to hear in the chat who you guys think is going to win these fights. So the next one we're going to be talking about is Mr. Raul Rosas Jr., the 18-year-old phenom himself, going in against Christian Rodriguez. I think this is a very interesting matchup, and I don't think it's going to be a landslide victory like a lot of people are thinking it's going to be.
No. I mean, Raul is getting a lot of hype, though, right? That's the thing. He's getting a lot of buzz. He's getting promoted, getting a little bit of that patty treatment, which I love, man. Hey, us Latins, the Mexican champions, the Mexican contenders right now. There's bread in the pudding, right? I think it's something to be said there. But man, kid, 18 years old, man. He's a baby. He's a baby, man. He bought his mom a minivan. I don't even know if he can drive it yet. He's a youngin'.
He literally said he's not driving. After his last fight, he got a win bonus, and he bought his mom a minivan so she can drive him to practice.
Oh my gosh! Well,
that's his words, not mine.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
You gotta love it, right? How do you not root for that? How do you not root for the kid? And there's, like you said, there's two talented young bucks in the division to kickstart the pay-per-view. I think that's why the matchmakers are doing this, in the UFC. They know what they're doing, man. They know.
100%.
I was a little surprised when I started thinking about it. I'm like, hey, if you have two shiny new toys, you're going to want to show that off first. Am I right?
Absolutely. I mean, he's young. He's smart. He's explosive. He's got really great Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That being said, with a 4.5-inch reach advantage, 7 years longer to develop his grown man body, and 2 more fights to his name. I not only have a weird feeling that Rodriguez gets it done here, but I think he actually ends up subbing Junior. I think he gets a submission on him.
Oh, no.
And I don't think it's, I'm going to take it one step further, guys. I don't even think it's going to be like a traditional one that we see every day, all day, like a guillotine or an RNC, a rear naked choke. I think it's going to be like an anaconda or a bulldog choke, or like, I think he's going to big brother him in a weird way.
I could see them getting in some scrambles, trying some fun stuff maybe you're usually doing in the gym. You see, or I can't think of any fun scrambles right now, but when you're rolling there,
dude,
they
I can
got
just see
something
Rosa's doing a move that an 18-year-old would do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's very young. I don't care how long you've been training. You're still very young in your career, in your age, and your development as a human being, your brain, your body, etc. He has a lot of hype behind him, and I think that could be his downfall in this fight. I think if he goes in there thinking that he has no chinks in the armor, he could get exposed to an extent. Maybe not massively, right? I don't think he's going to come out of this and lose a ton of stock, but I do think he's going to accumulate his first professional mixed martial arts loss.
Interesting, man. That'd be a lot of momentum for Christian Gonzalez to steal, right? I mean, coming out as a 25-year-old, has some really clean striking. I think his boxing, the way he mixes in his elbows, and he comes from a wrestling background as well. So, Raul may be thinking he has that advantage, but little do you know, that's not, he can, two can tango. I'm going to keep saying that today. I like that one. But, I think in terms of Raul Rojas, you hit the nail on the head, man. I don't need to say too much more. I think he's, I said too, he's getting that Patty the Batty treatment a little bit. But let's hope, if he can weather the storm here in Christian Gonzalez, again, a strong striker, someone that's durable, someone that has proven that he has some grit. Raul, only 2 fights in the UFC. We just really haven't seen it yet, right? That Contender fight series, I went back and rewatched it. He, went up against a grown man, and it looked that way. He had to kind of prove himself to earn that contract to get through. So I kind of thought there's a chance that can happen again, right? From another, again, talented, strong, equally as, I guess in terms of fight IQ, on the same level playing field, right? Yeah. So this is a fun one, man. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. And I think the last thing what I don't want to see happen again is another Chase Hooper kind of scenario where they hype up this 18-year-old. Next thing you know, I don't know where he is now. Maybe he's still fighting, but no disrespect to you. So shout out Chase, no disrespect. But
Chase Hooper is still fighting.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, he's been working on his striking, hopefully, and his entries.
Yeah,
he has great jiu-jitsu, but terrible wrestling entries. That's not to say that he wouldn't sub me. So, but he'd have to get me to the ground.
That.
So
True that.
I do have decent striking. So
catch me if you can. Come on.
So, anyways, I'm not trying to fight Chase Hooper here. I love that guy.
No, I love it. Yeah, like I said, all respect. With all due respect, I said that. Right.
I did say with all due respect. I don't think that idea is worth velvet painting of a dolphin getting it on with a whale. I think that's what he said in the Italian.
I'll take it. It's bad.
But so yeah, I think he subs him. I think he gets it done with kind of something funky. I think he big brothers him a little bit. And speaking of the word big brother, I think that's a perfect segue to get us right into the next fight. And that next fight, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fight fans of all ages and sizes and shapes, Kevin Holland versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. This one is an extremely interesting one to me. Again, very much a stylistic matchup, stylistic difference matchup in Kevin Holland versus Santiago. Santiago's your more traditional style fighter. I feel like he's pretty darn well-rounded also in kind of everything that he does inside of the octagon. He's got 16 KO/TKOs. He's got 6 submissions, 7 decisions. So again, he can kind of get it done everywhere the fight goes. That's not to say that Kevin Holland can't do exactly the same thing, right? Kevin Holland is extremely well-rounded. He's another man that can get it done anywhere the fight goes. The biggest thing about Kevin Holland is he is better than he's shown in a lot of his fights. The Stephen Thompson fight, I do wholeheartedly believe he could have won that fight if he had better fight IQ and better decision making within the fight. In the Derek Brunson fight, he could have won that fight if he had better takedown defense, 100%. We saw that in Derek Brunson versus Dricus du Plessis. He showed a lot of holes in his game. Again, those are holes that Kevin Holland could have taken advantage of had he come in with a little bit of a different game plan, a little bit of different planning in his approach to that fight. That being said, Santiago Ponzinibbio has been almost as inconsistent, if not more inconsistent, right, than Kevin Holland. His last 4 fights, he's 2-2. Again, he's beaten Alex Morano, who's a beast. He's beaten Miguel Baeza, who is a beast, but like who's heard of him? Not being a jerk, but not a ton of people have heard of him.
Right.
When he fought people like Jeff Neal, Michel Pereira, he lost. And then you look at Kevin Trailblazer Holland, and his last 4 fights, again, same thing, 2-2. That being said, his last 2 were losses, so it does look worse. But if you look at who he fought Khamzat Chimaev and Stephen Thompson. Both of those guys are ranked in the top 10.
Those are the who's of the who's. Like, yeah, those are the
give me
top,
a break here, guys.
top of the top here. Yeah.
Yeah. And he beat Tim Means and Alex Cowboy Oliveira. So, again, and it was with a submission and then a TKO. So, he has the ability to finish the fight anywhere it goes. He just tends to make poor decisions during the midst of the fight. That being said, I am a huge Kevin Big Mouth Holland fan. I don't love this fight for him. Ponzi has looked great against similar opposition. That being said, if the fight is able to stay on the feet, I truly believe Kevin Holland can knock most men out given the opportunity. And the fact that this fight is happening at welterweight, if Kevin Holland can make welterweight, that boy carries a lot of power at 170 pounds. And he's so big for the division. I'm curious to hear what you think on this one.
Yeah, brother, I appreciate it. You covered a lot of good stuff there. And just for the record, I don't think I made it crystal clear. I'm still pulling for Rojas in the last fight. We're probably going to be doing a shot. And you say it, we're on record saying that. I'm still pulling for him to win. I think he'll pull the bunny out the hat there. But this is another banger.
Raul Rojas. For all you Ted Lasso fans out there.
Come on. Yeah, but in terms of this bout, it's going to be a banger. I think this is the biggest wild card fight, was kind of one of my takeaways. Is I really don't know what to expect. I think stylistically, you never know what you're going to get with Kevin Big Mouth Holland, right? You get the antics. Unfortunately, outside of the octagon every time, like clockwork, he somehow finds a way to get in some video or something. I don't know what it is about the guy. Maybe it's just his face. Maybe he's just too nice. I don't know. But something about him. And then inside the octagon, he's unpredictable. Like you said, I think it's a lack of focus, a lack of discipline, frankly, right? Not sticking to a game plan or just letting maybe not being present in the moment, right? Because he's a freestyle fighter. He does have really clean hands. He is a big boy. He's long. He does have more strikes in terms of better strike percentage, like in terms of his accuracy. But in terms of the significant strikes landed per minute, that goes to our boy Santiago. And that might be the difference here as well. I wouldn't be surprised. I think, hey, Kevin's best chance, put him away quick, put him away early. If not, I think Santiago's going to start building on him. He's more fundamentally sound than Kevin is. And I think, and he's a little bit older. That is one thing to keep in mind. So the speed might be a big difference early. We might see that. But if Kevin gets a little tired and we see that second, third round, he tries to just throw caution to the wind, I think about Santiago might start getting some significant hits on him and might put him away or, might choke him. The dude's got a lot of ways he could put him out, but I think I'm leaning Santiago, man. This is a tough one. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that maybe I just want to keep going against you. I don't know.
I mean, if this is the habit, it's a good habit to build the weekend before we come out there, because we're going to be putting shots on the fights when we get out there, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. This is a pick'em for me. It really is. Yeah.
I think we have to address the JJ smoke in the room here. Pons is washed. Holland is going to KO him in round 1. Dude, JJ,
Ooh.
I don't know if you heard what I said before. I'm with you. I don't love this fight. Like, I don't love this fight for Kevin, but at the same time, I don't want to say Ponzinibbio's washed, but he's also no spring chicken. He's not necessarily in his prime. He, again, is one of those guys that's in the latter half of his careers, and he's had injuries that he's come back from. He's shown weaknesses in his game before. And that being said, Kevin Holland is that guy. And I personally think that Kevin Holland comes in there, destroys him, and then goes on to cut a WWE style promo calling out one Jorge Masvidal. We saw that argument in the hotel that Uncle Dana would not allow them to address at the presser today, which was quite interesting.
It's been a while since I've seen him do that, huh?
I've never seen him not allow them to answer questions like that before. Like, what is happening?
Nothing even really happened. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, if you're going to control what they're able to answer and field questions like that, what's the point in the presser?
Yeah, might as well have a script to everything. Friggin' this whole script they're talking about nowadays. Yeah, it was
Speaking
a little
of WWE.
For real. Maybe that's what it is. Even that one too. He didn't want to talk about that either. Just nope, don't want to talk about it.
I agree, JJ, because Jorge does not want that smoke. Pun intended.
There we go. Yeah, Kevin is scary at that division, man. At least a little bit more scary, I should say. He has his holes, but so does Santiago. I think I can acknowledge that. I'd love to see Kevin win. I think the narrative, stylistically, if he wins, that means he's probably going to knock Santiago out, which, hey, I'll pay to see that. Sign me up. And he is much younger. He's going to be quicker. I think that's going to be the difference. If he is going to win, he's just going to be piecing him up on the feet. And it's going to be probably quicker than later. Sooner than later.
It'll be sooner rather than later, and I think it'll be one of those that it's an easier fight rather than hard. I think if Kevin Holland wins this fight, he'll probably end up doing so handily. If he doesn't, it'll be a very close fight for Ponzinibbio. That's pretty much the only way that I can see that going. Jumping into this next fight, this is one that I actually think I haven't read your notes on any of these, to be honest. I try not to, so that way there's no bias going in. And so I'm intrigued to see what you're going to say, and I'm a little bit scared to see what JJ Smoke is going to say in the chat. So Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez, aka Mini Jorge Masvidal, who's like a better version of Jorge Masvidal. Yes. One fighter hasn't lost since 2018. The other hasn't won since 2021. It's a very big test for a very game Adrian Yanez. But I personally think that he takes this fight wherever it goes. I think that Rob Font is very tough, but I think he's a future PFL champion. And I mean that.
And that's no disrespect. Yeah, I was just going to say that's no disrespect at all. Yeah, he's a legend. Rob Font has his legacy, carved in. He's beat some of the greats. He had his run, coming off a couple of losses, like you said, a little bit older. He's probably right at that age. I don't know where his contract sits with the UFC, but I agree with you, brother. This is a fun fight. It's the reason why it's right underneath the co-main and main event. The UFC knows what they're doing, man. I think this guy, Adrian Yanez, man, this kid is special. Just go. I'm telling you, go watch the tape, take your feet back, get some popcorn, and enjoy the show. This guy is really fun to watch. Each time he goes out there, he's getting better and better. Not just the way he's boxing, not just the way he's countering and slipping and dodging and ducking and dipping and diving and dodging, but he's knocking people out in very fun fashion. It's highlight reels, right? In my notes, I actually put, this kind of gives me, reminiscent vibes of like a young Justin Gaethje versus Cowboy Cerrone, right? Someone that, it's this young buck. He's hungry, man. He looks sharp. He's getting better each time he goes out there, making these incremental, levels and leaps and bounds, going up against a veteran, a legend, a guy you want to root for, a guy that, again, had his chance. I was going to say Hall of Fame, but I don't know about all that. But I did want to call out as well. I think one thing that stood out today was watching the press conference, watching some of the pre-build stuff, the interviews. Yanez really, really respects Rob, like a lot, almost to like an admiration, where he, really, really likes him. I don't know if he wants to hurt him. I don't know if he wants to put him away. That's maybe my only fear in this fight is maybe they get in there. Maybe he kind of gets lulled in by, okay, I'm in here with the great. You know, there's someone I admire. I don't want to hurt him. But then again, maybe he just goes out there and puts a quick combo on him and puts him away, man. This guy, Adrian Giannis, is special. We'll be talking about him again, but he's a dog. And I do think he's one of the best boxers in the UFC right now. I mean, he is up there, man. His footwork, he's a guy, he's a dog, he's a problem. And he's here to stay, man. He's somebody.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Adrian Yanez looks at Rob Font, you got to think that he's looking at him and thinking, he's a guy.
He's looking into his soul, man. I think he's getting lost in those eyes or something. I don't know.
No, he does show a lot of admiration. He does show a lot of respect. But, a lot of times I would agree with you and be like, I don't think that that's a great thing, showing that much respect, blah, blah, blah. But I do think respecting someone like Rob Font and respecting their hands and their well-roundedness and the game that they bring, I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily, because
probably better than the opposite, huh?
Yeah, it's better than disrespecting the powers that he does bring to the octagon, because he's a dangerous foe. He's a dangerous opponent, and he can get it done in a lot of places, in a lot of ways. JJ Smoke says,
bring him the smoke. Let's go, baby.
Let me say this. If Font's chin is good, then he wins this fight. Yanez has problems with jabs. We've seen in his fights, and Font's jab is perfect. Yanez is overhyped.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so
where
I'm going
smoke,
to
there's
agree.
Fire, huh?
All right, Smoke. All right, Smoke. Listen here, young man. I'm going to agree with you on one front and disagree with you on the other. Okay, so I agree with you. All right, I'm going to address the real Smoke in the room here. Yanez is not overhyped, dog. All right. I'm sorry, no disrespect, but Yanez is that guy. He's a guy. As Emiliano says here, Yanez has shown problems with jabs in the past. And literally, when asked kind of like, how do you see this fight going? Rob Font says, like, I have a hell of a jab, and I think he's going to have trouble with it. So once I land it, I'm going to keep landing it over and over and over again until I get him out of there. That's a terrifying thing. If you've ever had trouble with a jab and you see somebody like Rob Font across from you, man has top 15 in all of the UFC crisp jabs. I would say currently active UFC fighters, men, women, across the board, all weight classes. Top 15. Not overall game, just his jab. His jab is very crisp. It's like a sniper rifle. When he decides to throw it and when he uncorks it, it's quick, it's snappy, it pushes people's heads back or bodies wherever he decides to land it, and it typically sets something else up if he wants it to. That being said, I still have Yanez winning this fight. I just think that Yanez, just like you said, Nano, is one of the best boxers in the UFC right now.
Watch the tape, man. Yeah,
he sits behind like your Jack Della Maddalenas of the world and your Dustin Poiriers of the world, and that's a compliment.
There's not a lot of those. Yeah, that is.
He's just under those guys. So I disagree that Yanez is overhyped. Let's see here. You guys remember that Costa fight? He lost that first round pure stand-up before finishing Costa. No, you're right. I agree.
He was getting pieced up a little bit.
He was getting pieced up a lot, and it was the jab, I think, that was lighting him up in that fight too. But, man.
He's getting better.
I just think he's getting better every fight, yeah. And he's also too fast. I think like Costa's not nearly as crisp or strong as Font, but he's fast. And I don't know that Font is going to be able to really stay on him all fight and be able to keep up with him. I think the speed's going to be a problem.
I would agree. Yeah, I think it's just a step behind. I think that's it. Step behind, day late, $1 short.
Reads and speeds.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make the right reads, and I think he's going to have too much speeds.
And Adrian has good footwork, man. He has really good feints. The way he mixes in the leg kicks here and there kind of just gives you that almost like Muay Thai, like I'm gonna whip it.
Yep.
He's gonna come out and bring some violence. As you know, some mini violence being the mini Masvidal here.
Man, I really do think he's going to bring a lot of violence in this fight. He looks just like him.
The old school Masvidal, like young,
bro, it's crazy. Like smooth criminal Masvidal.
Yeah, smooth. And he was looking smooth at the press conference, I will say. Had the 3-piece suit.
I mean,
it's a little
oh, you mean Yanez?
Yanez, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Yanez was looking crisp. He was looking sharp.
Yeah,
sorry. I thought you were talking about Jorge. I was like, I don't really agree with that.
No.
JJ Smoke, if you want to talk about somebody that is very extremely overhyped, we can talk about Jorge Masvidal very soon. Speaking of very soon, I think that's actually next. Yeah, let's jump right into that. I'll go ahead and lead this one out with some stats. Gilbert Burns in the UFC is 14-5. Jorge Masvidal in the UFC is 12-9. That is almost a 50-50 win-loss ratio since he's joined the UFC. The last fighters that Jorge beat that are still competing in the UFC today are number 13 ranked Michael Chiesa and currently unranked Tim the Dirty Bird Means. Now, both of those wins came back in 2013, which is a decade ago, which is a lifetime ago in fight years. Burns' last 2 wins are over number 7 ranked Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who we've already boasted up about today in this episode. That was back in 2021. And then just 3 months ago, he beat number 12 ranked Neil Magny. I mean, I don't even know why Jorge is still getting top 5 ranked opponents. It doesn't make any sense to me. But here we are. And if he wins, God help us, he gets a title shot in London probably. Because, you know, the 3-piece in a soda that he did against Leon Edwards. Man.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We have to address this before we 100% move in. Y'all taking it by finish or decision? I'm taking Yanez by finish.
Oof. So you think the chin went bye-bye, huh? I think it might be a decision, personally. I think Rob will weather the storm. I think it might start off slow. Like I said, maybe some of the respect's there. Maybe it's going to be a lot of a feeling out process. Maybe him circling the jab a lot, just trying to, you know, not take too much damage initially. Once he figures it out, once he kind of gets his reads. Yeah, I think decision. I just don't think he'll put him away, personally. Love to see it, though. That'd be huge. I mean, that's a huge statement. You know, because Rob is ranked 6 here. I don't think we mentioned that. And Yanez is 12th, I think. You know, let's not let the numbers fool you. You know, that is kind of a big discrepancy. It's a big jump. Not in competition, though. These guys are all elite. Yanez is special.
Yeah.
But, you know, Rob is one of the top guys, you know, and he's only lost to those of the elite status. So, yeah, I think I'm going with decision here.
But are you seeing this right now?
I put a little money on it. Not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I also put a little money on it. So here we are. I wouldn't be mad at it.
I love it. Bring in some smoke, man. Regardless, y'all, there's gonna be a banger. I think this is gonna be a really exciting fight. One of the more exciting fights that we're gonna see here in a while. Obviously, the main card is huge. That's of biblical proportions here, but I think in terms of the fight IQ that we're gonna see. I think in terms of what both of these fighters have at stake for their career, I mean, this is everything, man. You know, they're no spring chickens. They're both on the other side of 35 years old. Jorge, yeah, the only thing that's really keeping him afloat right now is the narrative that is keeping him around. Obviously, the star and power, the name. But honestly, I do think his IQ, I do think his boxing, I do think the way he's really well-rounded as a fighter. Has so much experience, you know, coming off the knockout. He's talked about, you know, needing that extra time. He has been really busy. We do see him doing his promotion, which was actually a pretty fun card for the most part. Is he going to keep doing that? Is he going to be doing these other business endeavors, you know, running around the streets of Miami, Mr. 305, you know? That does all put questions in my head, but at the end of the day, man, he's going to bring violence. He's going to come out and bring violence, okay? And I do think that as much as I love Gilbert, he's a fan-friendly guy. He's just seems like a sweetheart of a dude, even though he goes in there and beats the crap out of you. The dude is tough. Personally, I'm a big fan of him. And he's a world-class, you know, Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist. I mean, he's a black belt to the nth degree. I hope he could find a way to use some of that. I hope he could find a way to get some takedowns, make it muddy for him. But I don't know. I mean, and the age is one thing. Maybe if Gilbert was a little bit younger, I'd feel a little bit more like, okay, you know, he's going to kind of walk right through him. But Jorge can defend really well, can strike your butt off. I don't think Gilbert's going to knock him out. I just don't know if Gilbert has that kind of power. So with that being said, I mean, maybe Jorge... And he doesn't need a lot of room. The way he fights, man, if they're getting nasty, they're on the ground, or he goes and gets a leg, I mean, sniffing his crotch. I mean, he's going to drop some nasty elbows. He's going to drop some nasty knees on you. I mean, he's violent, man, and he's in there. And I think that's the edge that he's going to need. And I think it's going to be the edge in the fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins, gets that title shot, maybe with Kobe. He mentioned the whole lawsuit and all that. He has brain damage. Is he not going to fight? Even though Dana White kind of doubled down, I think, on that again, right? Didn't he? So I don't know. We'll see. But the narrative is there. I love Gilbert, man. I get heartbroken every time he loses, especially like that loss against Kamaru. That was tough.
Oh man,
that was heartbreaking.
That was so bad.
Oh man, but he's a dog, and he you know he put it on him. He had his moment, but you know the wrestling was just different. Obviously talking about Kamaru now, but back to the fight, man. This is gonna be a fun co-main event. I hope it goes to full 15. Not sure if it will. I don't know, man. I'm leaning Jorge though. I'm leaning Jorge this one. Give me maybe it's just the odds. Maybe it's just because they're in Miami. Maybe it's just because I know. I mean, the guys he's only lost to are again Kamaru and Colby. But Colby's a top elite guy as well, man. And he made it hard for Colby. He actually put Colby on his butt. I'll keep rambling, man. But what do you think? Wow, you got some thoughts? I see you.
I really think that this is Gilbert's fight to lose all day.
Fair.
I think. I mean,
there's a reason why the odds are what they are, but it's tasty.
They're tasty odds. They are tasty odds. I think, and Eric, I think DraftKings Sportsbooks works up there in Washington. You should go ahead and hit that bet, man. Jorge by submission, I think, is like a plus 1,000 or something like that. So, yeah. I personally think it goes the opposite way. I think Gilbert Burns gets it done. I think he makes sure that Jorge feels every bit of the burn, pun intended. He hits him probably with a triangle choke. I think I don't know why. I feel like
he hasn't been choked down in a long time.
The way that I don't know, the way that a triangle choke hits, if you've ever been hit by a triangle choke, it's different than like a rear naked choke, things like that. And the fact that like it puts you into a weird panic if someone sinks it in, right? We saw it with Neil Magny. Neil Magny, like, it was very, like, quick, the way that Gilbert sunk that in. And again, he made it look easy, sliced through the guard like butter. I don't think that Jorge's guard is better than Neil Magny's, truly, as far as grappling and scrambles. And I do think he's a better striker than a lot of the guys that we've seen Gilbert go against. But I don't think he's a better striker than we've seen Khamzat display his ability to be. So Gilbert went 15 minutes in the fire with him, and in the last 5 minutes he looked his best. Yeah. So that being said, again, this is one of those fights where every minute past the 4 or 5 minute mark, it's leaning more and more towards Dorino Burns. And I don't know if you saw his hair, but he might have to change his nickname to Doreen Fro Burns. Dude was dressed up for his first day of preschool with the nice little fro. Like, he looked dope as fuck.
That thing looks spongy, doesn't it? Yeah, I need to know what his hair routine is. That thing is poofy. Nice. I like it, yeah.
See, look at that. He actually picked Burns in the Khamzat fight. JJ, that's why he's picking against him. You're bitter. It's okay. I get it. I've been there. We've all been there.
Fool me once, right? I can understand that.
This guy said, I don't bet because I say things like the above. For anybody just now joining us, this was Eric's pick. So that's the co-main event. We do have one more fight to go over in this. And then we're going to echo some of these sentiments in the closing thoughts as we do our kind of okay parlay. But without further ado, again, it is the main event of the evening. We got Israel, the last stylebender, Adesanya, going against Alex Poatan Pereira. Man.
Oh boy.
Like what do you think of this? Like, this is a crazy fight.
Oh, brother.
It's the fourth time, and we literally said not that long ago, talking about Brendan Moreno versus Figgy. Like, man, it's the first time we've ever seen 4 times. We'll never see this again.
That's true. Not a lot of people have actually seen all 4. If you have, more power to you. Like, if you actually watched them fight twice.
The kickboxing ones?
In kickboxing. I'm saying just in general, like, for those listening, have attaboy. Then you get
I've watched those fights brother, each at least like 3 times.
Yeah, because there might be a lot of people that are just thinking, okay, you know, they've heard about it, but maybe they haven't actually seen those fights. That would add a lot of context, man. I mean, this is, man, we're talking.
Those fights are extremely strange for people that have not seen them. Extremely strange. There was a moment I mixed them up, the first and second fight, because they were somewhat similar but very different, right?
Right.
I think it was the first fight. There was a moment where Alex was almost knocked out, and he didn't get dropped, but the ref stepped in and stopped it and gave him a standing 10 count to recover. If he didn't do that, Alex would have literally gotten KO'd to oblivion because he was on skates.
That can happen in this
where
sport,
they're like, I had you on skates like Elsa. Or next time I'll leave you frozen like Elsa, right? Coldest line in all of MMA history.
It's pretty cold. It's freezing cold.
It's ice cold. Ice cold. Frozen. Ice cold. Yeah, so, sorry, you were saying...
No, brother. I mean, no, I love it. Let's bounce back and forth here, man. I mean, this is going to be a comic book. This is going to be a movie, man. This is about legacy, right? Izzy said it all. All the marbles are here, man. The last time they fought was on my birthday back in November. Been looking forward to it ever since. Stylistically, you're getting a David versus Goliath, right? You're getting, I guess metaphorically, you're getting a David versus Goliath. But stylistically, you're getting a faster, you're getting a smaller, but smarter, savvier fighter, right, in Israel Adesanya. The last style bender, we'll call him here. Again, does very well blending together all the martial arts, has dangerous weapons everywhere. And I really had to go back and watch that last fight just to kind of give my brain re-jog the memory a little bit, get some context here on how did things go. And, Izzy's footwork, his ability to read the angles, get out of harm's way. But really, I thought he was landing the jab. I thought he was, avoiding the heavy, barrages that Alex would throw at him. Really, the biggest, I guess, thing that was saying out to me were those leg kicks that Alex was delivering all throughout the fight. I think it was really debilitating Izzy. He's going to have to avoid that. Obviously, he's going to have to avoid the nuke of hands that he has as well. But it does feel like Izzy, man, he's cerebral, man. He's special. Like he's different. He's one of one. I want to get some of the merch that he dropped recently with Muhammad Ali, or just in general. I want to get me some Izzy merch, man. Because I'm a fan. I love what he does. Love what he says. Love how real he is about it. And he knows. Like I believe what he says. Like he knows he has his number. Go watch the fight. I mean, he was 5 seconds away. I think he was like, I was 2 seconds away from, putting Alex out with what was Alex's staple left hook, man. I mean, he had him on skates, had him folded. Referee stepped in right away, saved by the bell. He's not going to play with his food this time around. You can't, right? Yeah, and you see it in the first couple minutes of that second fight, I guess fight 3 for them technically. It's a lot of reading. It's a lot of feinting, not a lot of action. But then you do see Izzy start to pick it up.
First round KO. JJ.
Dude, he did come out with a flying kick to start it, man. I won't be surprised. I mean, I think he talked about, and Alex, speaking about Alex now, he talked about training to expect something new, being prepared for anything that he throws at him. I don't know how much different it's going to be. I think just going to be more sped up. I think Izzy's just going to have his foot on the gas. He's going to come out guns blazing. He's not going to give Alex time to get comfortable. And I think the X factor here that I think ultimately is going to lead to Alex going up and being a savage at 205. But I think this weight cut, I'm going to really monitor this myself. But I think that's why when he goes back in there and, Izzy touches him on the chin, Izzy does that to most people. They're not folding the way he does, right? I mean, I think that has something to it, right? Some of that.
Absolutely. I think if you want to see an absolute accreditation of that, to what you're saying, go back and watch any of Dustin Poirier's old fights. Literally, like 9 out of 10 of them at featherweight, he'd get dropped like that, from getting touched up from people with jabs and short shots. And I think this might be his last weight cut to middleweight. Truly, I don't know how many more times his body can handle the weight cut. I'm never going to use the term weight bully because I don't like, if you can make weight and you don't miss weight, you're not a weight bully. You're just someone who's very efficient at cutting weight, like Conor McGregor used to be to getting to featherweight. Was he a weight bully? No. Was he bigger than everybody he ever fought at featherweight? Fuck yeah, he was like significantly bigger than them. It showed. Like he was like a foot taller than some of these guys.
Yeah.
But so was Dustin Poirier. He was very long and lanky, but he looked malnourished when he was fighting at featherweight in comparison to Conor McGregor. And then you see people like Alex Pereira, where the guy doesn't have any more excess weight to lose when you see him on the scales. He looks like he's hurting himself to get there, but he makes weight, so I can't be mad at it.
And he is disciplined. I'll give him that. Like, you know, he's not out eating McDonald's. He's not, you know, eating candy like I am, all this Easter candy I've been getting already. He's disciplined as all hell. He's too big. It just doesn't make sense. And JJ Smoke bringing some heat again. I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree fully. You know, I think Alex, fully nourished, full at a 205, I think he'd put some hands and feet and elbows, knees, and toes on our boy Jamal. Because Jamal's going to welcome it. He's going to sit there in the pocket with them. But I think Alex is going to avenge his big bro Glover there, and I think he'll put it on him. I think Alex against Yuri would be the one that would be really fun to see in terms stylistically. But yeah, man, I love Izzy, man. I think back to that fight before I get too far ahead of it. I think Izzy's gonna come out the gate, you know, out of 10. He's not gonna let Alex get comfortable. Try those calf kicks, try to get the body, attack the head, right? You know, chop away at him. Hopefully put him away, man. Before it gets to those championship rounds, I mean, and again, and Izzy has to be perfect, man. That's what sucks. He has no wiggle room. He has to fight perfect for 25 minutes. Again, not 24 and a half like last time. I mean, he needs
25 minutes of perfect fighting. That's the thing.
It sucks, man, but that's just what it takes.
That's what it is. Like, we literally have a group chat with Mary's family, right? And I asked the group chat, I was like, hey, how do you guys see round 4 going, right? Hey, we got JJ back from the old days, the old Yelp days. Let's go, JJ. Let's go.
What's up, brother? Good to see you.
Let's go. So he says, Izzy needs to put Alex on his heels, like what Tyson Fury did to Deontay Wilder. 100% agree.
That's facts.
He has to bring the fight to him, not let him find his range, not let him find his rhythm, and suffocate him with constant movement. And I think if he's able to do that, he is going to 100% destroy the momentum and confidence that's coming in behind Alex Pereira in this fight. Now, man, call me crazy. Maybe I've romanticized fighting, or rather the champ's happy ending, you know, anime style comeback story a bit too much here, but I think Adesanya gets it done. And I think he gets it done pretty handily. The man was winning every single round of all 3 of their other fights up until he lost. And I agree with JJ Smoke here. 100% if Izzy's backing up like he did in the first fight, he's not winning. I agree. He has to move forward constantly. He cannot take a backstep in this fight. And if he doesn't take a backstep in this fight, I think he could probably finish Alex in the first round or second round. He had him hurt badly at the end of the first round of the last fight. In both of their other fights, there were moments where he had him hurt. So again, I think this is 100,000% Israel Adesanya's fight to lose. That being said, it's time for everybody's favorite moment here. We're going to jump into the Kinda Okay Parlay.
MMAnomaly proudly presents the Kinda Okay Parlay.
So we are back with another Kinda Okay Parlay. As we have to warn you, usually it's not the best parlay. It's not a perfect parlay, but you know what? It's kind of okay. It's kind of okay parlay.
I think so.
So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. This is what it looks like, guys.
Drum roll, please. Here we go.
We
First
have
winner,
all
baby.
favorites. All right.
Money,
we have all
money.
favorites. We're not going big this time. We're going smart this time.
Nothing
okay?
crazy. Yep.
We got Mr. Raul Rosas Jr., minus 230 point favorite here. Money line coming in against Christian Rodriguez. We got the kid getting it done.
Yeah.
This was Jalen's pick, I believe. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And and then we have Adrian Yanez, minus 180 here. Money line. Getting it done against Rob Font. Again, going with the young man. And then for the last and final pick, we have my pick here. My personal favorite. We got Israel Adesanya. Minus 130. Favorite. Money line. 15 whole doll hairs to get you $59.23 whole cents.
Let's go.
Emiliano,
we're getting the positive, baby.
Let's hear you go ahead and tell us how and why your person gets it done.
Well, like I said, my guy Adrian Yanez, the boy, the young buck, the boxer, the one with the heavy hands. One thing that did stand out to me as well, and hearing some of the press conference things, he's channeling his inner haggler. He's got that boxer mentality, man, that warrior mindset. He knows what's in front of him. He knows he has to get through the legend. He has to beat the henchman before he gets to the ultimate boss here, man. And that's what's gonna happen. Okay, we're gonna see some very slick boxing. We're gonna see some great footwork. We're gonna see this young guy just dismantle, unfortunately, old veteran in Rob Font, send him in the PFL with a graceful goodbye. But man, he's the dog, man. Again, go turn on the tape, kick your feet up, get some popcorn, get some snacks, maybe do your CBDs or your medicines, whatever you do, but go check him out. It's phenomenal. He gets better and better every time he goes in there. And this is going to be the come out party for him. He's going to take that number 6 spot. Excited to see what the next step will be for our boy, Adrian Yanez. Run it up. He's taking it. It's time. We're winning, baby.
We're winning, baby. This is the big one. This is the big win here. I'm just gonna go ahead and explain myself. We got Israel Adesanya, not Israel a miss on you. You know, he's gonna go in there. He's gonna land those shots. He's gonna be evasive. He's gonna move forward, and this time he's gonna show people that this is why he's the last style bender. He is coming in without the pressure of being a champion, but I think he's coming in with even more pressure. And you know, my favorite fighter is Dustin the Diamond Poirier, and you know, around here we know pressure makes diamonds. And I think he's going to come out of that last fight much stronger, much better, much faster, much crisper. And I think he's going to look like a Tyson Fury. I think he's going to do exactly what JJ said here. He is going to put Alex on his heels, like what Tyson Fury did to Deontay Wilder. Because again, just like that matchup, Deontay Wilder has one-shot knockout power, just like Alex Poatan Pereira. Whereas Israel Adesanya doesn't have that one-shot power. He's got finesse, he's got speed, he's got skill, he's got aim. He doesn't hope and fire. He aims, or he doesn't hope and pray or whatever. He aims and fires down the barrel. What did he say in his freaking post-fight presser?
It was something like...
Either way, the guy has the gift of the gab, and even more than that, he's got the gift of them hands. And I think he's going to put it on Alex Poatan Pereira. And that's that. That is that, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, Jalen's not here, aka Aso Akira. He is not here to defend his pick, but we got him. We got that pick.
We got the young buck,
It's
baby.
Raul Rosas Jr. It's a young man.
That's right.
What else do you need to know? He's here for the young demographic, and that's why he's on the Kinda Okay Parlay. This is going to get the kids to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and smash that bell for notifications.
Yeah. Do it.
He's the teenage dream. Katy Perry made a song about this kid.
I was just going to say, that was maybe 2010, 2012. Great year. Either way, great artist. What a time.
This kid was prepubescent.
He might have just been born.
He may or may not have just been born. So that's it, guys. That's the Kinda Okay Parlay. We did throw a couple of other bets, a couple of side bets, a couple of other parlays out there, but we're not going to show them to you just yet. We're going to wait until they hit, and then we're going to show them to you. No spoilers. And if they don't hit, then you'll know why you don't see them pop up on Twitter.
That never happened.
Or in the next episode. Never happened. Yeah, it never happened.
It's still undefeated.
Still undefeated, dude. Sick, dude. JJ Smoke, last thing here. He's got Yanez by submission. Guillotine. He called the submission. My gosh. My goodness.
Wow.
I love
he
that.
has a couple. He has a couple in his arsenal, doesn't he?
What are the odds on that?
Ooh.
Let's see DraftKings Sportsbooks. Let's look at DraftKings Sportsbooks, the official betting sportsbook
pull it up.
of the MMAnomaly Show. Let's see what the winning method is here for Adrian Yanez.
Pull it up.
Adrian Yanez.
Yeah,
He's low on
know
card.
what
Here
I'm
we go.
saying?
Boom. Oh man, to win by submission, that's a plus 1,000.
Ooh-wee. I like those odds. Let's see why you took them.
It's not a bad setup. It's not a bad setup.
Hey man, I'll tell you what, anything can happen.
Might have to throw a side bet on that.
I heard that.
JJ, if that happens, I'll be thanking you and shouting you out in the next episode. And again, as always, thank you guys for coming in. We will be doing a post-fight recap show. We will probably not be doing it on Sunday since, Sunday is for the Lord this week. It is Easter Sunday. So we will probably be doing it on Monday, hoping that we're going to be able to get Aso Akiro on the episode as well with us. That way we can recap the kind of okay parlay with you all, as well as usual, who we think were the biggest winners of the fight card and what we think should be next for said winners as far as opponents and matchups. As always, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications, and we will see you all on Monday, hopefully. Nano, and anything on your end? Shout out.
Now, shout out Olin, man. Thank you all for coming. Shout out JJ Smoke. Shout out JJ. All the JJs, dude.
Let's go.
Shout out
invite
Eric,
all the other
always.
JJs here, dude.
Yeah,
we love
the
having JJs in the chat.
And we don't discriminate. And I mean, any other A's, B's, C's, D's, LMNOPs, man. Bring them all. We welcome
all the way down to the
here.
Z's.
Oh, don't forget the Z's.
We don't discriminate.
The Z's. Come on. Make sure you catch the Z's, a couple more Z's, a couple more nights, and then it's fight night, baby. Tune in, get your pay-per-view in. Don't be cheap. Buy them. You want to keep them. It's a good card. Stack through and through. And then we'll talk about it Monday. Let us know your thoughts. Let us talk some crap. Let us know how wrong we are. Or maybe we'll brag about how right we are. I don't know. We'll see.
Let's go, baby. As John Anik says, 2 more sleeps. So we will see you then. Till next time.